Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Meow.
We're
Meow
coming to
from
you from
sunny
all over the
UK.
place.
Did you say it's sunny in UK?
No, I did, but it is not.
Hopeful.
Though it was. It actually was today. I had to wear my sunglasses.
Nice.
It's gorgeous in California.
Isn't it usually?
Well, we've had torrential rain, so not always.
See, I love the rain.
It's our only real weather. We have sun, we have rain.
There's plenty of rain here, but I'm not complaining because I love it.
So, everybody, if you're with us again, thank you for coming back.
Yes,
And
and welcome newcomers.
yay! Now, I had a whole slew of friends who said they were going to come, so I hope they do. If not, I'll just pretend that they're there.
Pretend that they're there.
But if this is your first time, we'll be gentle.
Speak for yourself.
Unless you're not into that.
Unless you're not into that.
Hadley, that's your kind of book.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So who's that other person down at the end of the line
Oh,
there?
a
That's
newbie.
Mel Walker.
Yeah.
He's our guest author this month.
So we have, all levels of spice available today.
Yes. You want
And
it?
Mel brings the sweetness.
Oh, that's so nice.
Personally, he brings the sweetness.
Yes.
Mel writes about small town love, right, Mel?
Yeah, small town romance, closed door. And yeah, it's great to be here. I'm super excited.
What happens behind the closed door?
That's where your imagination gets to run wild.
Yes. That's your way of engaging the audience and making sure that they are fully involved.
Yes, yes.
So every
Absolutely.
month with Time with Love, if you're new or if you're not, we'll remind you. Tonya, Hadley, and I are here, and we are doing a joint promotion this year together because our books are very similar, as you'll find out as we talk about them. And then each month, we're going to invite a guest author. And this year, Mel is our victim. I mean, this month. So
Victim. Whoa.
thank you, Mel, for coming. Now, if you'd like to find out what's next, because we're going to be here every month through the end of the year, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. And what about you folks? How can they
Well,
find out about you? I don't have a newsletter. Hadley and Tonya have newsletter.
yes. I have a newsletter, I have a website, and I'm available pretty much across social media at Ms. Tonya Todd and Hadley.
Author Hadley Raydeen across all platforms. I'm pretty much everywhere. I just got on Threads yesterday, which is wild. So if you're on that, you can find me there. My website, and then, on my link tree will have all the information on there where you can find me.
And Mel will have plenty of opportunity to share where you can find him as we go along in today's session.
Excellent.
So I'll start things off. I'm the author of Gale Year, which I think I said in the intro. And what is that? What is Gale Year? Well, you can see the cover below my face. It's a story collection, 12 stories, all year, one for each month. And there it is, look.
Hey.
So each of them is keyed to an event or holiday that month. And since it's February, you can probably guess what the holiday is, but you'll have to wait to find out if your answer is true. I write stories about how gay men meet. That started because I was older in life and had lost a long-term partner. And I thought, well, I'm not going to give up. And I found so many gay men give up. And anybody, gay, straight, in between, you can meet the love of your life anywhere, anytime. You just have to keep your heart open and your eyes open. So I'm going to read now from the February story, because it's February. And it's called Finding Good in Plenty. I hadn't been to Plenty since the funeral, but now here I was in the graveyard. where Jack's ashes had been laid to rest. His burial was one of the few compromises Jack's parents and I made after his death. He wanted to be cremated, I insisted during our several contentious phone calls. He needs a Christian burial, his mother repeated just as often. I wondered if I were the only one who found it absurd. My partner's cremains in a child-sized casket, sitting deep in an adult-sized grave. I knew Jack would have laughed. I'd like to say I heard him laugh that day somewhere in the ether beside me, but I didn't. I hadn't felt his presence since his heart stopped beating in the hospital room at the UT hospital. I even prayed, but why should God listen to me after all those years? Anyway, he didn't. Back in the present, I walked between lines of headstones, careful not to step where a body was likely lying, although the person they had been wouldn't care. I laughed self-consciously at myself and then shut up. There were other people at other graves with their own memories. They deserved some silence. One young man in particular caught my eye, which made me hush myself again, although I hadn't said a word out loud about him. Jack, dead a month, and already I'm looking, I admonished myself. The man I was trying not to ogle was in his early 20s, a dirty blonde dressed in very faded jeans, which only fit because he was young. He wore a light blue t-shirt that showed off his slender chest, and he held a cowboy hat reverently in one hand. The other hand was wiping tears from his eyes. I ducked my head. I'd shed enough tears myself to know when to leave people alone. I found Jack's stone at the edge of the Carlson family plot, neatly fenced off from its neighbors by 12-inch tall iron railings recently painted a sober dark gray. John Clayton Carlson Jr., the stone read, born January 17, 1969, Plenty, Texas. Died July 13, 2015, Austin, Texas. He is with the Angels. I wondered why the A in Angels was capitalized, but shrugged it off. I hadn't been in charge of the memorial stone. Mrs. Carlson wanted the grave and a headstone. She could have her way with words as well. I started to step over the inconsequential fence, but paused in mid-step. If any of the living Carlsons were here, they'd be scandalized. Of course, none of them would be. I told them I was coming, warned is more like it. They wouldn't want to see me. But I put my foot down anyway and walked to the gap between the fancy iron scroll work. Jack's grave was nearly at the end of the third row, one empty gravesite in. Space for me, I thought bitterly. I read the words chiseled in the marble a second time. So few words for such a good life. Both the life and the epitaph were too short. Healthy as a horse, he'd always say when he came back from his annual physical. Why had he lied to me those last 3 years? I knelt at the foot of Jack's grave, even though Methodists aren't kneelers, especially lapsed ones. But I thought maybe I ought to give prayer another chance since I was there. The dry ground was cement hard on my knees. Dear God, I started, coming to an immediate stop. What should I pray for? Dear God, I started off again. If there's a heaven, I pray Jack is in it. I tried again, hoping God didn't hear that one. Dear Jack, I miss you so much. If there's a heaven, I know you're in it because you were the kindest, most loving person I ever knew. If heaven doesn't exist, well then, like you always said, what's the problem? So it goes on from there. The young man and the cowboy who's visiting his grandfather's grave, and then my protagonist who's visiting his partner's grave, meet at the graveyard every month, and then they wind up beginning to date because you meet anywhere, even visiting your relatives' graves, and they celebrate Valentine's Day together. So that's the holiday, Valentine's Day. If you'd like to read more, you can buy the book, and it's available at your favorite bookstore, and you can buy it from your favorite online source. So I'm going to talk a little bit, since my holiday was Saint Valentine's Day, I'm going to talk just a minute about St. Valentine's, who was a real person. Just like Santa Claus was a real person, St. Valentine was a real person. He was a Christian bishop, and from one source I read, really young and redheaded, which was okay by me. He was the Bishop of Umbria during the Roman Empire in the third century, and he broke a Roman law, an edict from the emperor at the time, that people couldn't marry, that Christians couldn't marry. He didn't want any more little Christians produced. So Valentine, Bishop Valentine, was executed for his trouble because he went ahead. There he is, and he went ahead because he went ahead and married Christian couples in secret. So after he was killed by the Romans, he began to be young couples in love would started praying to him, and then eventually he was made a saint. And today we still venerate Saint Valentine's as the saint of love. So that's a little bit about the real person. Now I get to do the fun stuff. Maybe that wasn't so fun because he did get executed, but he did a good thing. Um, Now you've heard my love story, the beginning of it at least, and now we'd like to hear from you. The contest that we're doing today is for you to write in chat 2 or 3 sentences on what your dream Valentine's would be. Don't write a book. We wrote those books already. Um, just tell us a little bit about what your the best Valentine you could have would be, or maybe it's the best Valentine you've actually had. And then at the end of towards the end of the show, the four of us will read what you've written. So don't use bad words. And then we'll each pick somebody to be a winner, and we will have various prizes. So I'll give you a little incentive. Tell you what the prizes are. My prize is a $25 gift certificate to C's Candies. Now, that's in case you didn't get your own box of Valentine's chocolates, or maybe if you did get it, you know, there's never enough chocolate candy. Now, if you don't have a C's near you, there are 200 C's stores across the country. But if you don't have one, then if you're the winner I pick, we'll figure it out. You'll get your box of chocolates. Tanya's prize is a sexy dice game, which is kind of a new twist on Spin the Bottle. Tanya, did you want to say anything about that?
Just that it has to do with one of the tips in the book that goes for February. So I thought it would, be a nice theme for celebrating love in different ways.
And then Hadley's going to give a free ebook of Mr. February, which is her second novel in her Bachelor series. There's 13 novels because you get a bonus prequel. Hadley, anything about that?
So I'm actually given a copy of Strictly Business, which is the prequel, but we can give a copy of Mr. February as well.
No, I misspoke. So
that's okay. I'm gonna be reading from Mr. February today.
Oh, okay. And then Mel, maybe you should say what you're giving since I got Hadley's wrong.
It's all good. It's right there. It's an ebook copy of Take You Back. It's book 2 in my 10-year high school reunion romance, small town romance series.
So that's the contest. So start typing in chat, and we'll pick the winners at the end. Now Tanya is going to read and talk.
Well, I do want to say thank you for what you shared, because I don't know, it was unexpected the way you told us about your own story, and then you could hear little pieces of it in that short story, and then it segued into something different. And I think it's kind of cool the way you used your personal experience as kind of a writing prompt. And I was pulled in. It's like, oh, I want to know, because it's so sad, you get the emotional beats of, I'll
give you a copy of the book.
I really enjoyed that one. Like, it's a nice teaser, and where you stopped was just the right place to be like, hey, I need more. So, but thank you for sharing your vulnerability too. So, what I have is a book of 52 different ways to be vulnerable with your partner. Essentially, it is an exercise in love for an entire year. So, it's called 52 Love because there are 52 weeks in a year, and each week you have a new intimacy tip to try with your partner. It ranges from as sweet as hand holding all the way as spicy as naughty nooners. But today we are going to talk about dancing because it is always a good season to dance, but especially on a cold night, what a way to warm up with your partner. So I'm going to take from week 7 and read Tango for Two. Partners who sweat together stay together. It's true. For this week's tip, I'm stealing from my character Lucian's arsenal. His recommendation, stay in for an evening of dancing. That's right, dance at home, where there's no cover charge or waiting in line. No need to wear uncomfortable shoes. Better still, you control the music. No overplayed pop anthems to spoil the mood. Your playlist will set the tone for the evening, be it At Last, Let's Get It On, or simply Dancing Machine. Whether literally or figuratively, dancing benefits the heart. Burning calories together elevates endorphins and raises your pulse. Cardio boost aside, the time spent close to your partner reconnects bodies. Heavy breaths, tangled limbs, hips moving in sync. Your bodies work together toward a shared goal, mutual passion. Dancing will help increase your bond. Shortness of breath and a racing pulse mirror the sensation of falling in love. Revive emotional memories as you sway together. Glide fingers over warm skin to rest your hand in the swoop of your partner's back. Press chest to chest. Inspire desire with a light sweep of your fingers and the firm grip of your gaze. Wrapped in this much sensuality, you can't help but arouse renewed affection. And that is today's tip. If you enjoyed that, what you can do is go a little bit further in the book and you get these love bites that help you to kind of talk about the topic with your partner and extend the pleasure, if you will. And now we are going to have romance trivia time because it's February and, we already heard the history of St. Valentine's Day. So we will open it up to the audience first, but the gang here with me, you are welcome to answer if we don't get the right answer from the crowd. So we will start with, who are Cupid's parents? Do I hear a ticking?
I think it's Maud and Fred. I have no idea.
I don't know either.
You don't even know Cupid's mother?
I know the Cupid Shuffle.
Oh, Aphrodite?
Well,
Mr. and Mrs. Cupid.
Mr. and Mrs. Cupid. Elle wins.
Actually, it was an affair.
I suppose.
So Aphrodite is Eros's mother. Cupid is the Roman equivalent, so it would be Venus and Mars,
Oh.
which are Ares and Aphrodite. So our next question is, oh, it's right there on the board. What would florists consider a signature rose? This one I actually did not know before preparing the trivia.
The red rose?
You're close. That's part of it.
A red long-stemmed rose?
It's a red rose surrounded by baby's breath.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, that's more than a rose. I think that's cheating.
But that's what makes it a signature rose.
Oh, I thought maybe it was a pen that had a rose on the top. Get it?
Yes. Wah, wah. There's some author humor for you. Yes, this next one is easy. In what movie does the heroine say, I'm also just a girl standing in
Aw.
front of a boy asking him to love her. I feel like Hadley knows.
I
I
do. I recognize. Is it Sleepless in Seattle?
No.
No,
Mel knows.
I know.
Keep in mind, I'm in the UK this week, so there's
Yes.
a hint.
And
She said it.
that movie was based on a true story.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Do I hear someone typing up, trying to find the answer?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I forgot that my mute wasn't on.
Oh,
Had
Joe
somebody
knows.
message
Joe
me.
I know.
knows.
Yes.
You
Well,
can play,
somebody
Joe.
tell.
Tell us, Joe. You can say it. That's right.
Very good.
Notting Hill.
Yeah, that was a true story. It was a guy who had I don't know if it was a travel bookshop, but he had a bookshop, and a famous actress came in the shop, and they began a relationship, but sadly did not end like the movie.
Aw.
Oh. Joe knows all the rest, too. Let's see if Joe knows this one. What show is credited with starting Galentine's Day?
That sounds like something.
That's right.
Yeah, I should have known that. I was about to say Friends.
That would have made sense, but it was after that.
Sex in the City?
No,
Or that,
it was.
right?
It was.
That would make
it's,
sense.
it's Parks and Recreation.
Oh.
Wow.
The
And Joe,
Broadway
you knew
musical. He did, yeah. The Broadway musical West Side Story is based on what play?
Ooh, I know this one.
And I'll give you another hint. My location is that hint again.
Are you in Stratford? Oh, no. Was it Verona? Where was it?
You're so close. Tell us, Mel.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yes.
Oh, that would make sense. That would make sense.
Where did Romeo and Juliet take place?
Verona.
Fair Verona.
Fair
Fair
Verona.
Verona.
Yes.
Okay.
If red roses symbolize love, what do yellow roses symbolize?
Friendship.
Very good.
I think they symbolize they were out of red roses.
Or that too.
Okay, last one. At the end of Sleepless in Seattle, where do the main characters meet on Valentine's Day?
Was it at the Needle?
No, Mel, you should take this one. This is your hometown.
Yes.
Oh.
No, it's really. I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember the movie. Then it must be the Empire State Building.
Very good.
Okay.
We make a good team together.
Yes. Thanks for the cue.
Well, we got all our answers from in-house. What we are secretly doing is trying to encourage you to give us your responses. Don't be shy, because at the end of 12 months, there's going to be a special prize package given to whatever person, whatever super fan attended the most and engaged the most with us, gave us more answers, right or wrong. That's okay. You know, you don't get marked off for wrong answers, just that you are participating. You get the whole 3-book package. You get 52 Love, you get Gay All Year, and then you will get the December book from Hadley.
I thought it was a round trip to Pittsburgh.
Or that, I got Steelers tickets. You want to come out for that? Let's go.
Right. We can do that, but you have to fly from where Hadley is instead
Right.
of where we are. It'll be a little closer. And with that, we bring up Hadley to talk about this month's book.
And I apologize because my dogs are going to town with their barking right now. So if
That's
you can
okay.
hear
Dogs need love too.
that, he wants to be heard, Mr. Blaze. So I am talking about my Mr. February. This is from my Bachelor series, which there is a book regarding my bachelors, people who are trying, or men who are trying to find romance in Manhattan. There is a book every month. So with Mr. February, it is a sizzling second chance romance. It's set in a high stakes world of beauty and fashion. Our bachelor is Gregor McCallan, and he's a self-made millionaire and a CEO of McCallan Beauty. He has built an empire on vision, power, and ruthless ambition. But behind the glossy magazine cover and high profile deals, there's one thing missing: Harper Webb, this woman whose ideas helped shape his success, and the woman he betrayed. Now, fate, or perhaps some meddling hands, has brought them back together for an international beauty campaign in Scotland, and Harper is determined to prove she can succeed on her own terms, while Gregor is just determined to win her back. Their chemistry is undeniable, but old wounds do run deep. So in a world where business and pleasure collide, can they find a way to trust each other again? Or will their past mistakes ruin any chance at a future? It's a story of passion, ambition, and redemption. And Mr. February will take you to the boardroom battles, to breathtaking moments in the Highlands of Scotland, where love might just get a second shot. So this is an excerpt from Mr. February. Buckle up for that, because it can get messy before it gets better. This is taking place in the Isle of Skye, Scotland, and this is the pastel blush photo shoot, and it's part of Gregor's business. And this is him from his point of view. So I've built McCallan Beauty from the ground up, turned it into a global name, secured deals most people in this industry could only dream of. And yet none of that means a damn thing in this moment, because she's here, Harper Webb, the woman who once meant everything to me, the woman I let slip through my fingers in the most brutal way possible. She's standing across the set, giving orders to the makeup team, making adjustments, her hands moving with effortless precision. Her focus is sharp, her posture commanding. But I know Harper. And beneath that unshakable exterior, there's something else, something she's trying to bury. Her hands are steady, but she won't look at me, not even once. I knew that moment was coming, knew I'd have to face her again, but nothing could have prepared me for how seeing her again would feel, like a punch to the chest, knocking the air clean out of my lungs. 15 years since I stole the very thing she spent her life dreaming of. I rake a hand through my hair, forcing myself to refocus. It's a professional setting. The cameras are rolling, the models are lining up, the Forrester media execs are watching our every move. This isn't the time to let memories of us cloud my mind. But then Harper glances up. Our eyes lock. It's the first time in 15 years that she's truly looked at me, and I see it. The anger, the betrayal, the history that refuses to fade. The fire between us that, despite everything, still burns. Gregor. Genesis Jones' voice pulls me back. I turn, flashing a practiced smile, the one I wear when I need to control the room. She smirks. You're distracted. I don't bother denying it. Her gaze flicks to Harper, who, you two have history. I exhale slowly. That's one way to put it. Genesis tilts her head, watching me closely. You stole from her. Blunt, no hesitation. I don't flinch. Are you going to tell her the truth? I let out a slow breath, my gaze drifting back to Harper. She's talking to one of my designers, her expression unreadable. I'm going to fix it. Genesis hums, unconvinced. And if she doesn't want it fixed? I turn back to her, then I'll make her want it. She raises her eyebrow. Bold strategy, Mr. February. I smirk, but it doesn't quite reach my eyes. Because the truth is, I don't know if I can fix this. I don't know if she'll ever forgive me. But for the first time in 15 years, I have a chance, and I'll be damned if I waste it. Now, if you want to know what happens when a ruthless business mogul is forced to confront women or his woman that dream he stole, grab Mr. February today. Give a second chance of romance filled with passion, betrayal, and redemption a chance.
Did you say I'll make her want it?
Yes, I'll make her want it.
Oh.
Ooh, and we'll figure out how he does it too.
Yeah, and with a Scottish accent.
And he does have a Scottish, there's definitely a Scottish accent in there. I gotta pull that out. So, yeah.
We have a theme going this month.
I told you Hadley wrote that kind of book.
Yeah.
I
Have this
cannot wait
meeting.
for the audio version of that book.
Whoa, whoa.
Absolutely.
I'll make her want it.
I'll make her want it.
With a
I
Scottish accent.
Yeah. When you said I was like, oh.
oh, and that Scottish accent is kind of what gets her. Like she's like, I don't want you, get on my nerves, but I love that accent.
Yeah.
So I am supposed to be talking about our magazine right now, which I think is our newsletter. Tonya, I think that's where you wanted me to go in that direction. I know that last month we did have some interviews. So my main character, Genesis Jones, is a journalist, and she's interviewing all these bachelors throughout the month. So what she's going to do is she flips the script and talking to the bachelors, and she actually talks to the characters of our authors here. So she will have a exclusive interview with Rick's characters from Tonya, and then with Mel's character, and then it'll be put together in a newsletter that we will send out monthly to all of you. So that's what is our magazine / newsletter that will be coming up.
Very cool. And as we mentioned, Mel, welcome. Thank you for joining us for our time with love. I know you didn't know exactly how to prepare for it, but you're in good hands.
Oh,
And
thank you so much.
If you don't like it, we'll make you like it.
Ooh. Ooh.
Don't tell your wife I said that. No. So, you want to tell us a bit about your book?
Sure. So today I'm going to be talking about my book called Take You Back. It is book number 2 in my 10-year high school reunion small town series. So in the story, the basis of it is Jada Stevenson and Kai. He's a school counselor, and she has attended the school before. In book 1, they met and had a no strings attached relationship. So the premise of this book, I'll read it from Jada's perspective. Friends with benefits in a small town is a dangerous game. When a new to town gorgeous man like Kai Daniels arrives like a gift from above to this small middle of nowhere town, you only have one choice: act quickly, or in my case, too fast. My no strings proposal is out my lips before I've thought it through. He's not a one and done man. He's moved to Spring Hill and is here to stay. Now I'm attempting to do the impossible. Is it even possible to go from lovers to friends to a future? So I'm going to read an excerpt. This is start of book 2, where Jada and Kai reunite. She's back in town to plan the next reunion, and he's been assigned as the faculty coordinator for the reunion. She meets him at the school, and he immediately wants things to return to the way they were when they had their no strings. Told from Kai's POV. She clears her throat. No more of this no strings BS. No late night bedroom activities. You want something from me? Guess what? I need something from you too. I need you to respect me. I need you to listen to me. I need you to be a friend, my friend. I nod and remain silent, hoping there is more. There has to be more. Let's really get to know each other this time, and maybe, just maybe, when I think you've earned the right to have me on your arm, I'll let you ask me out again. But I'm tired of the games, Kai. So freaking tired. If that day comes and you ask me out, it better be for the right reasons, and you better be prepared to go the distance. I will no longer accept anything less in my life. You shouldn't have to settle for less. No one should, but only a friend will know why. She's right. I can spout all the positive affirmations in the world, but until I know her truth, my words are hollow. I nod. She's put forth her latest proposal, the friendship clause. If I can stick to it, it'll provide me what I believe I truly want, a pathway to dating her. I can live with this. Friends first, and then if she corrects me. I shake my head and paint a happy smirk on my face. She hasn't realized it, but she's given me something I didn't think was possible a moment ago. Hope. I'm going to run with it. Darling, it's going to be win. I'm going to win you over so quickly that you may be the one to ask me out first. Her half smirk reveals a dimple on her right cheek, and I want nothing but to pull her into a hug and kiss it. But friends don't do that. Friends first, she commands. Well then, be prepared to be the most dotted upon friend in all of Spring Hills. I deliver the line with a bite of humor, but her reaction tells me she's feeling otherwise. Listen carefully, she whisper warns, capturing my complete attention. I know we can't deny that there's a certain chemistry between us. We're playing with fire. I'm in no mood to be burned. But if we go ahead with this ridiculous scheme, I want it to be clear. Friends, that's what I'm offering. I really need you to understand that. If we're going to do this, it has to be this way. I pause and I reflect. Last time we rushed to an agreement and I didn't read the fine print. I spent months kicking myself for that. I won't make the same mistake again. Okay, friends first. I get it. How will I know it's the right time to ask you out? And I'm only saying this because I want to make sure there isn't any misunderstanding. If I had my druthers, I'll ask you out tomorrow. Of course you would. And just so we're crystal clear, we will be over forever. She delivers the words with a harshness I hadn't expected. She gives me an icy stare, her intent clear. The stakes are high and this is not a game. I know what I bring to the table. If we spend as much time together as I suspect, you're going to fall in love with me. Hard, fast. You're going to beg me to take you out on a date, to be your girlfriend, to start a romantic relationship. I'm telling you right here and now, that will only happen under one condition. We get to know each other first. That you get to a place that few people ever have. You get to know me, all of me, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Once you know me like a best friend, you'll never need to ask, when is the right time? You'll know, because you'll know. So, are you in? I pause and I reflect, understanding what's about to happen, what I'm committing to. I'm in. Do you want to kiss on it? This time I insert a joke. Whether or not she'll appreciate it is not my concern. I'm not her puppet. I do have autonomy. She shakes her head. Friends it is. She uncrosses her arms and lifts and lowers her shoulders as if unsure of what comes next. I fight an urge to pull her into a hug just as the school bell rings. That's my exit and your cue to get back to work. She walks her coffee cup to the garbage and strides to the door. I'm unboxing my things at the house this evening. Kennedy is taking Elijah out for dinner to celebrate his return. I could use a friend to help me unpack, and it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if they showed up with a pizza. She lowers her chin to chest and gives me a sexy wink, and my heart does a flip in my chest. I shut it up by forcing out a reply. 6:30? Shoot me a text with your favorite toppings. Her hand reaches toward me, landing on my chest. Darn, all my friends already know what that answer is. I guess we're going to have to spend a hell of a lot more time together than I thought. There's so much I must teach you. She scratches out a symbol on my chest before mouthing the word later. I remain standing in the teacher's lounge as the door closes behind her and replay this entire strange conversation. My hand rises to my chest and I realize what symbol she drew on my chest. A heart. What the hell did I just agree to? That's book 2, Take You Back.
Thank you very much, Mel.
Yeah.
I love that.
You're going to fall hard. Oh, I have a lot to teach you. Just because you have closed doors doesn't mean you're not steamy.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Now we're going to interview you, Mel, so get ready.
Okay.
And I'm going to start off with the most important question. What did you get for your sweetheart for Valentine's Day, and what did she get for you?
Ah, okay. So we had an interesting one. So usually every year, my wife and I, we stay in. But this year, my son is home from school. So he kicked us out. He was having friends over. So we went out. We did dinner and a movie. We had a nice dinner. We saw my wife's a big fan of Issa Rae. So we saw her new movie that just came out, which is hilarious, by the way. And so we made it a night out, came in way well past our bedtime. So it was all good.
Sounds like a great evening.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Also, you have a new book coming out this year. When does it come out and what's it all about?
So I have one coming out in August 14th, called The Summer Surprise. It's book number 4 in my Summer and Seaside series. It's interesting series there, and it's typically is a music festival based there. The first 3 books were a music family, 3 members of the family, each of them got their happily ever after. this one is the best friend of one of the characters. She's a bartender and she has a secret crush on the deputy sheriff in town. So I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So, Mel, what was it that inspired you to start writing about love? It's not something that you typically see with men, and we love it. We love the stories from your perspective. What inspired you to do it?
I just have always been drawn to like the two people meeting and connecting, whether it's random or it's planned or all of that, and understanding how people are vulnerable to one another and matching and coming together in terms of learning each other's strengths, their weaknesses, and how they complement each other, and how 1+1 doesn't equal 2. It's more than that, and just delivering on love. And I love happily ever after. That's why I really write romance, especially in this world where you could all use a lot more happily ever after.
That is definitely true. I wanted to ask, um, what writers influenced your writing? I'm always curious to see what writers are.
Yeah, thanks for that question. So when I first got into this field, I didn't realize that being a male romance author was like a unicorn. Because when I growing up, I read Omar Tyree, I read Eric Jerome Dickey. I would read male authors. So it wasn't an anomaly for me. I just assumed authors where people write romance, women, men, everyone knows love. So they influenced my early development in terms of how to approach storytelling, etc. And then more recently, I read a broad spectrum of romance authors now. Kathleen Nolan, the Kelsey Ray, etc. It just any of the contemporaries, especially small town romance authors.
You're not the only unicorn. I write gay male fiction, but I'm sort of a unicorn in that world too.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, male authors of romance need to form a club.
We need to band together.
Yes, yes.
I play the saxophone. What do you play?
Oh, see, I'm a nerd, so it's the clarinet. So.
You both missed an opportunity to say heartstrings.
Oh, that's so much better. That is so much better.
So I do want to take this opportunity to remind the audience that we would love to hear your dream Valentine's story. And if you're too shy to say it now, you can definitely add it in the chat after the event. You won't be available to, win the prizes for today, but we still want to hear it.
Tonya, I wanted to say congratulations on the launch of 52 Love this week.
Oh, thank you. I probably should have mentioned that 52 Love launched 2 days ago.
Yes.
It has been just a crazy trip over here. And it's like, yeah, it launched on Valentine's Day. So I was getting all of these notes and celebrations. And it's like, I am not doing what I should be doing for my book because I am abroad and enjoying theater. And, I'm experiencing love in a different way. But you have to love yourself too. And you have to enjoy life. And this is where you get your inspiration for things,
Right.
Where do you get your inspiration, Mel? Where do you get inspiration for your stories? Because you're one of the most prolific writers I've ever met. You have so many stories, but they're
Besides
different.
Hadley.
Yeah.
12 books in 1 year, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I get inspiration from everywhere. I'm in New York, so it's always bustling. So everywhere I go, I can see love in action. I'll sit in the park, I'll see conversations and people meeting and greeting on the subway, listen to music, etc. I'm an outdoor writer. When the weather's nice, I like to write outdoor and observe people. And last summer there was this beautiful moment. I saw this guy was juggling. He's teaching himself how to juggle, and this woman went over to him and started asking him questions, and then he started teaching her. And then within 20 minutes, they were exchanging phone numbers and everything. I was like, there's a meet cute.
Yes, it is.
That is a great idea.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
now you've heard enough from us maybe for a little while. let's turn it over to the audience in another way. This is your chance to ask Mel questions or tell him how much you love his books. So please take time to write something in the chat, and we'll read it, and Mel will give you his answers.
And Hadley, did you have any questions for him? I feel like we kind of monopolized the questions.
No, that's okay. What I wanted to say to you, Mel, is that your covers are beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, they're very nice, soft, and everything. So I was just noticing that. You know,
Thank you so much. I will pass along the compliment to my designer.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to ask, where did those covers come from? You have a designer?
Yeah, I work with a designer, TE Black Designs. She does
Where did the photos come from?
The open source, so we search through them and find, and it's so difficult finding couples of PLC couples. It's a big challenge.
It is.
Yeah, but I don't see other people with your covers. You know, if it's open source, it's not like it's the same one.
Yeah. I'm trying to convince my son and his friends to, go to a photo shoot and put some more stuff out there.
There are a lot of photographers out there that are looking for people of color to do photo shoots so that they can be used on covers. Because to your point, it is difficult to find those. And especially like I write a lot of multicultural, romance, and it is very hard to find those. So if you know anybody that's interested, there are always photographers out there.
Yeah, I have to say your covers are working for you too.
We
in
have
a different way. Like the power of the men in your covers. It's like,
Thank
oh
you.
yeah, I'm gonna make him kneel.
Those are hot guys. We have a question. What is the question? What advice would you offer other male authors who might want to write romance, but may be shy or don't know how to break into the market?
Good question.
That's a great question. Thanks for that. I went in, like I said, I went in naive, so I didn't realize it would be a hurdle. And I've not really encountered a hurdle. I would say put aside any preconceived notions you might have about the market, and just dive in. You're an author first. So write the most compelling story, reach out to the community. I've gotten tremendous support across the whole spectrum of the community, from bloggers to other authors to illustrators, etc. It's very open and warm community. They always will be providing advice in terms of telling the stories. Find your unique POV. What story do you want to tell? What is your vision of the world you're looking to create, and just stick to yourself. Don't try to imitate anyone else. Every person has a unique view, and each person has a valuable story within them. So,
Hadley, did you want to ask that?
Yeah. So yesterday I was having a conversation with an aspiring male author. He has one book out right now, and he is going to be putting out another one. He's writing it at the moment. And I'm trying to do some literary coaching and things of that nature. But the question that he had, and maybe Rick, you can weigh on this as well. He's doing a sci-fi book. However, he's bringing some elements of romance in it. And he said that what he's struggling on, and it's taking him a long time to put out a book because of it, is dialogue within his books. And he's feeling like females have an easier time because we talk a lot. Hey, I'll own it. So we're able to do our dialogue easier. But as a male author and one in romance, how do you find it difficult to do dialogue within your books, or do you find it comes easy and natural?
I find it easy, but I talk a lot. And I enjoy talking. I enjoy talking with people. Talking to people is dialogue. But I also was an actor in my younger days, not professionally, but I enjoyed working in a little theater, and you get used to dialogue. But how I taught myself to write dialogue was I wrote it. I wrote little plays, basically, and I just wrote dialogue. I didn't write anything but dialogue. And so now one of the things I'm complimented on in my writing is the dialogue. And you can learn, you don't have to have a natural gift. You can learn how to write dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Mel?
Yeah, that's great, Rich. That's really cool. For me, it goes down to the character. So I usually start with a very detailed character profile, and so whether male or female, I make sure I understand their background, what motivates them, and then when it comes to dialogue, you know, what cadence do they use in terms of the speaking parts? So it depending on where they're from, if they're from the South, they have a certain cadence in terms of how they speak, etc. But also the educational background will impact the dialogue and how they speak as well. And then what do you want to convey in terms of the story? So, are you doing a lot of imagery, or is this person direct? So the dialogue should reflect their personality.
Mel obviously thinks a lot more about dialogue than I do. But that's why there's the editing process.
That's good. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And I would
Um,
say with that editing process, I'm not a male, so I can't speak from a male writing dialogue, but just as an author writing dialogue,
Mhm.
read it aloud.
Absolutely.
Read just the
Exactly.
dialogue. Like, cut out
Yep.
all the action tags, just read the dialogue and see if that makes sense. Record yourself, play it back. Does it sound stilted? Then it probably is. If it sounds natural, then I would go with that.
I always do that. In fact, I do a full edit reading out loud because when you hear the words, I always think of it as music. You'll hear the wrong notes, and you'll
Absolutely.
be able to correct it.
You'd be,
I
oh,
agree with
that's not that character's voice. They don't
Doesn't
speak
feel like
like
that
that
at
at
all.
all.
Literally, when I
Well,
was reading Mr. February, I was talking with a Scottish accent the whole time, so it made sense to me. So I'm like, hopefully, this makes sense to the reader. But yeah, speaking it out loud helped.
well, I think we should probably move on. Do we have any dream Valentines to award prizes to?
Anyone brave enough to tell us their story? We see you're listening.
If not, I'm going to buy those chocolates for myself.
Well, you deserve them.
I do. Well, we already got our chocolates. So we don't have any people who are ready to venture, but like Tanya said, you can write it in the comments, and we'll people will be able to share.
And we
Um,
will check that and we will respond to you because, we want you to stay engaged with us.
so I think we should wrap it up for February. We'll be back on March 16th for Time with Love. And for me, P.S., the holiday is not St. Patrick's Day. So from me, I wish you well. Please be good to yourself and others.
And I will say, please remember to treat love as a verb and celebrate love in all its forms. Hadley?
I'll be back next month with Mr. March. I'm excited to hear. You're excited to share with you again the journey of love in March, and it won't be about St. Patrick's Day, but we'll have a theme. Yeah, about a soldier. So yeah.
Are we going to all do the Ides of March? Is that what this is?
Oh,
Love tragedies.
mine is Pie Day.
Oh,
Mel
Sounds
talked
yummy,
about
but
intellectual.
you're going to make math sexy.
One of my protagonists is a math teacher.
Oh, very smart.
You know what? You have provided something every month so far, so I'm just going to trust you that you're going to make a math teacher sexy.
he'll land that plane.
Yeah.
I'll land that plane. Thank you, ladies, for being confident.
Yes.
And Mel, tell everyone where they can find you and where they can best support your work.
Sure. You can find me across all platforms as author Mel Walker. I have a website, a Linktree on Amazon, most active on Instagram. IG is the best place to engage with me as well.
Thanks, Mel, for coming and visiting us.
Nice
Oh,
having
thank you for having me. This is
Yes,
this is a
thanks
lot
for
of
playing.
fun. Yes, I'll be in the audience next month. I'll be getting that chocolate. So
You might,
nice.
you might win a pizza next month.
Oh, nice.
Pizza pie.
But thanks, everybody, for coming and spending some time with love.
Yes, stay warm and appreciate love.